Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the Packeteer Packetshaper box. I'm gonna go into detail on that. Just go ahead and do a quick brief explanation of it, and then we'll go ahead and look at it, the web interface and stuff online, exactly like all the controls and stuff for it and what this box does. So real quick here, I'm just gonna explain sort of what this does in this whole system. So we have the modem up there. You can't really see it, but the internet comes in, and I've already explained it. It goes to the firewall, and I've already done a tutorial on that, a little video explaining that in detail. So the internet comes in here. This is the WAN, the wide area network, and it comes out here. And this has DHCP addresses and everything. This has everything done to it. It's got the cache, and this is after it comes out of our firewall. But that actually goes into the Packetshaper here, and it comes back out through there, and then it goes into the switch, and that breaks off into everything. So that's where all the servers are plugged into, all the computers and the routers, the wireless routers and everything. But so basically what it does is all the traffic that goes between our local network, anything on the local network, I mean a cell phone that's going onto the internet, all the way to these servers and everything, goes through this. If it goes between the local network and the internet, it's going to go through this, up or down. Doesn't matter what way the traffic's going, and it monitors that. So there's actually 3 ports on here. There's the, you can see the MGNT. That is the management port, so that's how we actually access it through the web browser. It has a static address, and we can just access that on our local network. And then there's the outside, which is the line coming in from the firewall there. And then it goes inside, and that goes to our switch. So basically, if we look at the screen here, it shows in real time our usage. So we have in going up, it just went down to 0, but it shows 0.3 megabits per second, and it shows 0 out. So it basically shows our speed in real time in megabits per second. And that's going anywhere between any device in the house and the internet. We'll go ahead and just take a quick peek at it on the topology graph. So I already went over this in detail, but if you guys didn't see it, there's the internet, there's the firewall, that's all one box, and there's the Packetshaper. So everything between our local network, which is all of that, and the internet goes to the Packetshaper, and that is basically sort of like an electric meter on your house. All the electricity that goes into your house goes to that meter. So all the internet, you know, the data that goes between our local network and our internet goes through this, and that allows me to monitor all the traffic. It also has what's called packet shaping. I don't know if you guys know what that is. As you can see here, I have it turned off, and that's because it's very expensive. When I bought this box, it was only licensed to do packet shaping at 512 kilobits a second, which is very slow. So to explain that to you guys real quick, it's basically a way to limits your network speed. So it limits it to, in our case, 512 kilobits a second. And then what it does is it maximizes it. It sort of does like compression and stuff like that, but it maximizes the use of that 512 kilobits. So it will make that like the most efficient 512 kilobits you have. But for my network, that's not fast enough to go. It would limit our up and down speed to our internet to 512 kilobits. That's because that unit is only licensed to that. You can have it licensed to whatever speed you want, really. I mean, you can have it licensed up to 100 megabits a second, but it's very expensive to have these units licensed. And when I bought it, it only came with 512 kilobits. So I wasn't really, you know, it's not really worth it to me to buy a whole new license for this to get packet shaping. All I use it for is to monitor all the web traffic. So that's what this unit, that's all this unit is doing. It's actually not really modifying or doing anything to the network at all. It's just building graphs and allowing us to monitor real-time traffic on the network. So let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like on the computer and the web interface, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that in detail right now. Alright guys, so if we just go ahead and we're just going to punch in the IP address to the to the Packetshaper. So it's actually 10.0.0.30, and it is a static address. So that's always going to be the same. And then this is it here. So you can't really see the whole screen. I do have it zoomed in just so you guys can see better. Because if I screen record the whole screen, it doesn't really look too good. It's hard to see. But this is just basically the info on the unit here. So that's the model. It's Packetshaper 3500. The IP address, serial number, software version. Acceleration is pretty much like caching and stuff. It's basically to speed up stuff on the network. It basically speeds up the network speed by caching things and doing like compression and stuff. It's not really compression, but it uses compression and caching to speed up the network. Express, I honestly don't know what that is. That's probably just some type of setting or something on here. Enhanced compression is turned off. Oh, so it's compression. The gateway, that's just a setting again. So the inbound rate is 512K and the outbound rate is 512K. That's what the unit is licensed for, like I said. So as you can see here, the shaping is turned off. The reason I have the shaping turned off is because it does limit our in and outbound rate to 512K if I have it on. So yes, it does do packet shaping, but it limits our link speed so much that it's not really worth it. And it's not really worth it for me to get this unit licensed. I really don't, to be honest, I don't care too much about packet shaping. Really, I just use this entire thing for the monitoring to monitor the network traffic. That's really all it's used for me. And then you can see the link rates here. We have 100 base T, 1000 base T, 100 base on the management. So those are the they're all full duplex. So those are the links. Then there's just a bunch of other crap. That's really all there is on this page. But there's just the file browser. You can upload files to the hard disk on here, or to, like I said, you could plug in a USB and actually use it as like a network storage. But it's not really anything that amazing. But it's okay. It's kind of cool. Then you have commands. You can do like commands and stuff. But so what we're gonna actually do is I'm gonna show you guys here. We'll go to the top 10 tab here, and this is really cool. Just starting out here, let me show you guys what it is. So it's the average rate, and it shows you the time it was generated. So this is when this page was generated. And then I can view the top 10. I can put in really any number here, and it'll show me the top 10 sites that are using data, where all the website data is going in and outbound. So we can show 1 hour. I could put 2 hours. I can put any number in there. And then I can select, let's go ahead and put 1 back in there. I can select a minute, an hour, a day, a week, or a month. So, and I can put 1 hour before, and I could put a date or a time or whenever. So it's really cool, really nice, and very, flexible as far as I can see when data, how much data was going between a certain time frame or whatever. So if I want to say, oh, how much data was going a week ago, how much did we have over that entire week, I could do that right here and just look at it. So it's really cool. And then you can also print it. You can print it out onto a paper to document it or whatever, and you can have it auto update every minute, every 5 minutes. So it actually uses, I don't know, I think like JavaScript or something to update this page automatically. So if I set every minute and I hit that, and you can see that when I do hit update, it changes. It takes at least, I think, a minute to change, because it takes about a minute to log the data. But so it'll actually update by itself now, refresh the page every minute. And so here we go. This is all inbound right here that we see. So this is HTTP traffic. A lot of that is actually YouTube right now. For some reason, most of YouTube's traffic is actually not coming up under YouTube. It's coming up under HTTP right now. Usually it does come up under YouTube, but for some reason it doesn't. There's really not too much going on right now. It's just 172 megs in the past hour, so, or 160 megs in the past hour, so it's not too bad. But it shows you, you know, what's using all your data, the average rate at which it's using it, and how much % of this it's using. So that's really cool. You can see that. And these are the top 10 sites. Again, you can go up here and adjust that and change it to whatever you want. So it just refreshed right there automatically. And then this is our outbound rate. So this is all the same stuff just for outbound, and we have 532 megs outbound. You can see a lot of it is actually SSL, and that is for some reason, again, YouTube is doing that. I'm uploading a YouTube video right here, and that is actually under this SSL category right here, and you can actually click on it and see like more details and stuff. Let's go back, actually. Let's go ahead and click on the graph, and it'll pull up a whole nother page that shows over time the rates at that exact link. So I can see the SSL. So I started it at about 11 o'clock right here, you can see, and then it kept going all the way up till now. So it's 11:55 right now, and you can see that that's the rate over time. So it's actually been uploading a little over a meg a second all the way up till now from 11 o'clock. So, and then down here is the network efficiency. So and you can have it again auto update this graph, so you can print this graph, you can update it automatically, things like that. So we'll go ahead and close that. So that's the top 10 tab. That's just one tab, so you can see that there's a lot of stuff you can monitor. It's really cool. I can see all the links and everything, and I can make very, you know, neat graphs and stuff to show where all the traffic is going over time. So let's go to monitor. This one's just kind of all data and numbers and stuff. There's really no graphs. So this is all inbound right here. All this is inbound, and then if you scroll down enough, actually this is all inbound right here. You can actually select it to go the outbound page too, but this is all inbound rates. So let's just go ahead and hit Facebook. So we can see right here there's the Facebook, and then there's the hits, there's the peak megabits per second, and then or actually bits per second, and then basically it just shows, you know, the data that it's using and how much it's using and stuff like that. And then if you can click on that, you can again get, you know, further, you can get a graph right here. It'll give you a graph, and you can see the network efficiency, all this stuff, and you can set the times you want to see that graph for. So we're not going to do that right now, but it's just, you can generate really cool graphs, and it's really cool what you can do just for every link on here. And this is all, you know, individual websites that you're visiting, and it can see that. So it's really, really cool. It's not just like an overall all your traffic. It's showing you where your traffic is going and how much of it is going there. Manage, this tab doesn't really do much. I'm not going to talk about that right now. But report is really cool. Okay, so this is the report. This is the overall. This is everything. So it's not like an individual link or anything. This is our overall inbound utilization here versus time. So megabits per second over time, and then there's average and there's peak, and then again the network efficiency. It also has like a little pie graph down here showing you how much of your traffic is going where. So this is the top 10 made into a pie graph, and it shows you right here what all that means. And we have the exact same thing for outbound. And as you can see, the rates are a lot slower because our speed is actually 1 megabit per second. You can see it does peak at times a little over 2.4, 2.5 or whatever, which is actually pretty high, but it's just for a short amount of time. The average rate is about 1 megabit per second. So, and then again, you have the pie graph and stuff for that. So 97% of it is going to SSL right now, and this is uploading to YouTube. And then you have a little graphical number down here to show you the bytes received and bytes sent. So that's really cool. And again, you can select the times that all these graphs are generated, right? So this is all just for an hour. You can see this is an hour time period. Let's go ahead and put a day in, and then we'll go ahead and update it, and it'll take a second to generate the graph, and this is our network utilization over the entire day. So you can see that between like 7 a.m. and about 1 p.m. there's really nothing here. That's because no one's really home at that time. Everybody's at work or school, so you can see that there's really no traffic going on here. And then when we get home, everybody breaks out their media devices and crap, and then you have me. This is all like these huge peaks and stuff over here. This is probably downloading files and uploading YouTube videos and stuff, and that's probably what all that is. So it generates graphs like that. So you can actually, over here you can see that there's, you can get all these summaries. You can print them out. They're really cool. There's tons of really cool graphs and stuff that'll do. But I want to click real-time graphs. This is actually a really cool thing. It's I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's a JavaScript, so it actually runs like a Java, not JavaScript, but it's actually a Java application. So, and it shows you in real time your inbound and outbound rate, and it's got these little meters. It's actually pretty cool. The only downer to this is it doesn't like auto range or anything. The highest the meters go is 600K, and that's because my link speed licensed to this unit is 512K, so it's not really gonna go higher than that. So if I have 15 megabits per second down, if we're pulling 15 megabits per second down, it's not going to actually show 15 megabits per second. It's just going to max out at 600K, which is nowhere near 15 megabits per second. So these, you can't really change the value of these. That's just based on how big the license is for the traffic shaping. So that kind of is a little bit of a bummer, but for times like now, they're actually pretty good. It gives you a pretty good idea of your how much traffic is flowing. You can see that right now the outbound rate is kind of off the meter. That's because it actually is going all the way around. We're probably outbound right now. Well, you can see the outbound rate right here. The graph actually does adjust, so the graph is true, and that's good because the graph will adjust to whatever range we're doing. It'll go all the way up to 15 megabits per second if we wanted to. And so the red is our inbound rate, the blue is our outbound rate, and that's because I'm uploading the YouTube video, so you can see it's kind of high. And this is over time, this is real time. So we have 1.25 megs here, and it's averaging between 1 and 1.25 megs. So that's what this meter is trying to represent, but that's about twice as much as it can go. So it's almost overlapping and going back to 0 because the meter is way off the charts. So these aren't very accurate because they're not to scale, but the graph is accurate. So this is 3 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago. So 2 minutes ago, this is about where we were. This is now, and it's just really cool. It allows me to see all the in and outbound traffic in real time. So I can see if something's eating up bandwidth or stuff's operating really slow. I can go, where the hell is all the traffic going? I can see how much traffic is going in and out. And then I could go over to the top 10 and say, well, what's been running in the past minute? And I can auto update it, and I could say, well, SSL has been using, up in the outbound, it's sent 8.6 megs in the past minute, and SSL is consuming 97% of that. So I can see that the SSL is consuming most of the bandwidth. That's pretty much it. There's the express thing that I was talking about. That's all compression and stuff, I think is what that is. But here's the settings. So I have the shaping off, traffic discovery is on. That's what is allowing us to see all the traffic. Adaptive response, I think that's the compression and stuff. I just turn that off. I don't turn that on. The unit name, that's just the name of it. I left it as the default. That's the what's it called? The ID to this unit. This is the IP address, so it is a static IP. I set that in there. That's the net mask, our gateway, which is the firewall that I did in my last video. So our gateway is the firewall, and it is acquiring this 10.0.0.30 address. So like I said, I don't know if I've explained this, but before I in my firewall video I showed that all my DHCP addresses are 10.0.0.100 and higher. So it's only going to lease IPs of .100 or higher, and then everything below .100 is static. So I keep all my static addresses in the lower half so that they never conflict, so that my DHCP server never leases an address that's gonna eventually be taken by a static address, so that they're always separate. And then, so here's the WAN settings. You can change the in and outbound rate. It says 512K. So let's say I said I wanted to change it to 1 meg. That's 1 M. And then I went and I saved it, because I've tried this before, and I was thinking, you know, oh, well, why would I want to keep it to 512K? And then it'll ask me if I want to do it. And then here's what happens. It says the specified link size 1 meg is bigger than the maximum link size of 512K. So it maxes out at 512K. So that's the issue, is if I have this shaping on, the maximum I can do in and out is 512K a second, and that's just not going to work. So I just turn the shaping off, and I use this entire unit just to create, you know, the advanced graphs and stuff to show me where all my traffic is going. And then there's the info. We already went over that, but somewhere along here, the setup, here it is. There's many different options. So like, this is the basic setup. There's tons of stuff you can do in here. So like, I can do SSH, so I can set up the SSH in here. I can SSH to this unit in port 22. I can say in standby mode to where it's configured direct or none. So if this unit is turned off, the traffic will still pass through it. It just won't log it, but the traffic will still pass through it. So I can turn this unit off and leave it in standby, and it will just act like a switch, and traffic will just flow through it. You can do, I mean, there's just tons of stuff in here. You know, settings and stuff. These are all just settings. Failover settings. There's plugins. I tried installing more plugins or looking for it, and you have to like go onto their website or something like that, and you have to have the license number, so can't really do that because I bought it on eBay. But still pretty good. Here's the management port. So we have the management port on. That's how we're accessing it right now through that .30 address. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Traffic Shaper. It's really cool. This is amazing. For the price I got it for, it was like, honestly, like 30 bucks. So it was a steal at like 30 bucks, you know. I couldn't go wrong. It was kind of a surprise to me once I found out the 512K. That's probably why I got it for 30 bucks. Because I later on did some investigation, and you can get them a lot bigger. I mean, I can get them in 100 megabits per second if I wanted to, but they're very expensive, even for the same unit. So this 3500, this unit can be bought in higher link rates, and those are a lot more expensive when you buy them. So I think the link rate licensing, it greatly affects the price of the unit, but to me, it's still worth and well worth every penny of 30 bucks for all this information that's giving me. Whether it does traffic shaping or not, all this is just priceless. It's really good to have something like this to monitor the network. So it helps me out a lot. And I mean, it doesn't. Here's another thing I forgot to mention is, like I said, it's basically like a power meter. So it doesn't have to go between the LAN and the WAN. It can monitor. I can put this between the local network and say a specific server or a computer, and I can monitor just the traffic going between that server, what's going in and out of that server, just that specific server, instead of monitoring our entire network. This is monitoring all the traffic on our whole network, but you can monitor individual devices too. It's basically you just throw Ethernet in and Ethernet out, and it monitors all the traffic on there, and it's just really cool. So that's pretty much it for the Packeteer Packetshaper. I highly recommend you guys go on like eBay or something and check these things out. Just type in Packetshaper and you'll find many different models, and they are incredibly cheap. It's amazing. And for the price, what these things can do is, you know, it's really well worth it, every penny. So definitely check these out on eBay. If you guys have any more questions or want to know anything else about this particular unit, leave a comment, you know, email me, whatever the heck you guys want to do. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and like always, guys, have a good one.